So I'm having a little bit of trouble with something, guys, and I'm going to reach out for you guys, or to you guys, for some help. So I'm starting to put together my second listening room, and I have two different brands of speakers that I'm looking at, and there's not a lot of reviews on one, but there's a lot of reviews on the other. I can't really decide, so I'm going to ask you guys for some help down below in the comment section. So get your typing fingers ready, because I got a lot of questions for you. Now there are two brands that I'm looking at. One is Paradigm and the other one is Definitive Technology. And the two models of speakers I'm looking at is the 800F from Paradigm and the 9060 from Definitive Technology. And now I'm having issues trying to figure out which one I really want. So we'll go ahead and break down a little bit of each speaker and try to tell you guys what I think about it, just off of initial reviews and reading about them, things like that. So I have my computer here in front of me, and we'll go through some of the specs and see what we can find. So the Premier 800F from Paradigm retails for $999. So they're not terribly expensive, but they're not cheap. And I don't want to get too cheap because I want something that's going to be super fantastic, but not better than what I'm listening to now in this home theater, in my current home theater here. So the 900Fs, they come with the Premier 600C center channel for also $999. They also have the Premier 200B, which are their bookshelves, for $499. So I'm going to be using a 5.1 setup. I do have my SVS PP1000 still from a long time ago. I still have that. So I'm going to be using that as my subwoofer, so I don't need to buy one of those. But let's go to the Premier 800F. So it comes in three different colors: gloss black, gloss white, and then espresso, the wood kind of green color. So I really love the espresso green color, and that's the choice of color I'm going to get if I get these speakers. And so I'm having issues trying to figure out if I like the speakers or not, because again, there's not a lot of reviews on them, but it's Paradigm, and Paradigm is known for some high quality stuff, and I've always wanted a Paradigm speaker, but I don't want one that's not going to be good. So especially if there's things out there that's better than them. So let's go through some specifications really quickly about this speaker. So it's a 4-driver 3-way bass reflex floor standing speaker, so it gets down to about 50 hertz. Not too low for, a full standard that I'm used to. My speakers get down pretty low, so I'm going to end up using a subwoofer with this certain setup because they're going to need some help with a low end extension. It'll sound pretty good for music, but for movies we're going to need that extra help from a sub, so we're going to end up using my PP1000 with this system. It does pretty good on sensitivity, so I don't need to power it too much. It can handle 20 or 15 to 250 watts. So I'm going to end up using my Emotiva Bass X A300 to power up my front, left, and right speakers, depending on which one I get. It gives me 150 watts times 2 to 8 ohms. So there's going to be plenty of power going to my Paradigms if I choose to get these ones. So not a terribly big footprint either. They're not very big or wide. They are kind of deep, very surprising, but I kind of like a deep speaker for some reason. It's just aesthetically pleasing to me. And so it looks like a really good speaker for what I'm intending to use it for. And so again, it comes with the center channel. Well, it doesn't come with it, but they do have a matching center channel and some bookshelves I'm looking to get too. But again, it's $999 each, so I have to get two of those, so it'll be just under $2,000 for it. The center channel costs $999, and then two bookshelves is $499 each, I believe. So I'm gonna have to spend a little bit of money on it. So if I'm gonna spend money, I want it to be good. So guys, there's not a lot of reviews on there, but just based off the specs and what I've read, they're looking pretty good. They're a pretty neutral speaker, so they're not going to be like in your face aggressive. So if you're coming from anything like Klipsch, you're going to really feel kind of awkward listening to these, because Klipsch and Paradigm are two different sounds. Paradigm has a much more laid back, soft, neutral kind of sound, which I feel is kind of most related to how sound is supposed to sound when it comes to like instruments and things like that. But some people like the in your face action kind of stuff, so kind of up to preference. But I'm okay with that kind of sound, but they're more soft and laid back, and I kind of like that. They look aesthetically pleasing, of course. I like a good looking speaker, but that's not the main thing that you want when you're getting a speaker. So if you guys have any idea about these speakers, let me down in a comment below what you think about these speakers, and let me tell you what I'm comparing them against. So the beast from the Definitive Technology is the BP9060. I'm looking at either that or the 9080X. The difference between the two is the 9060 has a 10-inch subwoofer, a little bit smaller speaker. The 9080X has a 12-inch subwoofer and comes with those Dolby Atmos modules. And so I will be probably running Dolby Atmos with this setup. It's going to be a 5.1.4, hopefully, 5.1.2 at the least. So it's going to be a pretty good system, but these are the speakers that I'm also comparing against the Paradigm. Again, the BP9060 or 9080, leaning more towards the 60s. I don't really need two 12-inch subwoofers in that room. It's just not big enough for it. But these speakers are rated to get down to 18 hertz, which I'm not too sure if that's too true, but I'm not going to hold it against them until I hear it myself. So They have two passive radiators and a 10-inch subwoofer built inside the cabinet. So each speaker will have a 10-inch subwoofer, and that's really cool because if you don't want to go out and get a subwoofer, now you have one integrated. It's cool and not cool because wherever you set your speakers at, that's where your subwoofer is going to be placed as well. And so it may not sound good in that spot, which could lead to some issues. But again, I have my PB1000, so if I can't seem to get the subwoofers and the speakers to work correctly like I want them to, then of course I have my PB1000 for that. So there's tons more reviews on the BP9060 and 9080 than there are on the Premier 800F because the 800Fs are a little bit newer. But again, it's definitive technology. Some people regard these as one of the best brands, and they are really, really good. Now, I've never had any of these in my system, but I've heard them at various stores and locations. So I've been able to audition these speakers, and they sound pretty good, but I haven't been convinced yet. But of course, I just listened to a few music tracks that they had demoing there. I couldn't put my own music or my own movies to it, so I'm not really sure. But they look nice, aesthetically pleasing. They're a little bit more though. They are $1,099 each, so it's $100 more than the Premier 800Fs. But again, you do get integrated subwoofers and passive radiators, so you're kind of saving on a subwoofer if you don't already have one. So they look really good. So guys, I'm at a loss. I'm not sure what speakers to get. Leave me down a comment below. What brand do you think is better in general? What speaker model do you think is better? Is the 800F the way I should go? Is the BP9060 the way I should go, and why? Let me know down below. Leave me a comment down below and tell me if you guys have any of these speakers. I know a few of my subscribers have the BP9060s and the 9080s and 9040s, any of the definitive technology line. I know some of you guys have them. How do you like them? How do you like that subwoofer in that cabinet? Do you even use it? Do you have a separate subwoofer you're using? Do you use it in conjunction with them? Let me know down below how those subwoofers sound. If they're pretty good, that might sway my decision more towards the definitive technology, just to have some power subwoofers that I don't have to worry about. The only issue with this is that when you have power subwoofers in your integrated speaker, you have to find a plug for them, and where they're going to be sitting at, there isn't a plug. So that might be an issue for me, but anyway, just leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the two brands that I'm comparing, the 800Fs or the 9060 definitive technology. If you have either of those models, let me know what you guys like about them. I'm still kind of leaning towards the Paradigms, but I'm open for any suggestion. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like button. Smack it with your fist as hard as you can, but don't break your phone or your computer. Just smack that like button and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Kpaceguy out.